Okay, we're here this afternoon with Ron Hayward. He's running for County Commission in the 7th District of Muskegon County. It encompasses Egelston and some other townships under the redistricting. Ron, why are you running for County Commissioner? What type of difference do you think you can make?
Because people want to be heard, people want to be, recognized and so forth, and the current commissioner that we have he knows what's best for everybody. He doesn't bother talking to anybody.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
I was a police officer for 13 years. I was in charge of scheduling and payroll. I was a firefighter for 8 years. I was a chief, the arson investigator, and I had 20 men under me that we fought fires and so forth. I've been on Egelston Parks and Recreation Committee for 5-6 years. Was a part of the new park, Pine Ridge Park, which is a summer and winter recreational park. Also involved in the Sunset Beach Park. The township got a $140,000 grant to upgrade it, so we're pretty proud of that. New pavilions, extra parking, fishing dock, and so forth. I'm on the Board of Appeals the Zoning Board of Appeals in Egelston. My biggest thing is turkey hunting. I'm president of Ottawa County National Wild Turkey Federation, which we take kids hunting and so forth. We have a group down there that we help sponsor. It is kids at the Grand Haven Public Schools, the handicapped kids. We take them fishing. And I was on Muskegon Wastewater Hunting Regulation Committee out there. I've been on it for 7 years. I have a business, chimney cleaning, industrial cleaning, commercial cleaning business that I've had for 29 years. Married, 5 kids, 11 grandkids. That's pretty much it.
What do you bring to the table that your opponent doesn't? Give us the contrast between the two of you. And your
honesty, dependability, and informative. I believe that for the government to run right, there needs to be communication, starting with the people, the townships, the county, the state, and the businesses of Muskegon County. That is one of the big things that I've found, that the businesses feel there's no leadership in the government. They're not getting the help that they want and so forth.
There's been quite a bit of talk lately about a new jail. What's your position on that?
Well, they do need a new jail, but they need the prosecutor, the judges, and the sheriff need to decide on what size jail they need. There's 200 beds, 600 beds, 900 beds. Nobody knows what size they actually need. And I think they need to figure out what they need first before they go farther with it.
Now, about a dozen years ago, they had inmate capacity of about 250, and as a result of a lawsuit, they were told they had to go ahead and increase the capacity. They did that. Right now, the capacity is about 400, and since Muskegon County's population isn't going up, and the baby boomers have pretty much outlived their wild youthfulness, you think 400 is a good number? That's something they can live with?
I don't know. I'm not into law enforcement now, so I don't know what the crime scene is really like. I think that, like I said, that's for the judges and the prosecutor and the sheriff to decide what size jail they need before it's built.
What about the, I realize it as the county commission's role is not necessarily to get involved in day-to-day functions of various departments, but the county commission's role is to go ahead and fund those departments. So how would you propose we pay for this jail?
I believe that would be up to the public.
So then, and this should be put before a vote of the people.
I believe it should be.
And if that, we have to live with their, whatever they say and follow the will of the people.
Yep. The people are the ones that pay the taxes and so forth. They fund the government spending, so if they should have a say on it.
Okay. Do you see any deficiencies in the county board as a whole as far as it relates to what they should be doing in Muskegon County?
Communicating. That is the biggest one. These commissioners, they go to their meetings, they go home. There's nothing said. Well, I can't say commissioners. The one commissioner, which was District 4, it's now District 7. But the commissioner of District 4, he lives within a mile of Egelston Township, and he's probably been there 4 times to meetings in 10 years. He doesn't inform the public of anything. He was at a meeting when we had the main sewer line go through Egelston. He was sat there until he got hot water, and then he jumped up and left.
So you don't see that body as a whole as being very responsive?
No, I don't. No, I don't. You know, if the public didn't want to be informed of anything, if they really didn't care, you know, just let the world go by, it might be all right. But people are wanting to be informed, they're wanting to have a say-so, and the commissioner we've got right now has nothing to do with that.
Brookhaven, that's been a question that's come up too as far as the management. I guess they've gone through quite a few managers in the last few years, and they even had a meeting that should have been an open meeting. It turned into a closed meeting. After a lawsuit was filed, they had to essentially redo that meeting to put everything before the public. What do we do with Brookhaven?
That is a good question. And the county really shouldn't be in the health care situation that they're in, but yet in the same thought, you want to provide the people with the best care they can get. So I'm not really sure how I stand on it at this moment because I don't know all the facts about it. But I've heard people say that the county needs to keep it. I've heard people say that they need to get rid of it. So I really don't know. I haven't seen the facts, you know, the figures and so forth on it. So this time I wouldn't say sell it or keep it or whatever until I learn more of the facts about it.
The number of county commissioners we have. I've heard that it should be lowered to 5 and they should be full-time. Then I've heard on the other hand it could be increased to 24 and keep them part-time. What do you think is for responsiveness, for accountability to the public, what's the ideal number of county commissioners to have?
To effectively, I think, cover the townships and so forth, probably should be more than 11. They redistrict District 4, they made it District 7. It has 5 townships in it, which is a big, big area. And each township has their own little quirks and so forth. And for 6 months, I've been going to these townships, you know, hearing their problems, hearing their concerns, hearing what they would like to see done. And it's a lot of ground to cover, a lot of ground. Because it's Holton, Cedar Creek, Egelston, Moreland, and Cazenovia.
That is a lot of ground to
It's
cover.
a lot of ground. But if elected, I plan on covering all of it. Being at each meeting that they have, it hadn't been a problem so far. But
What do you think about the times of the county commission meetings being at 3:30 in the afternoon? You think that's a good idea, or should they be moved to the evening where more people can attend, or?
I think it would be better to make it in the evening where more people could attend it. Right now, 2, 3 o'clock, everybody's still at work, unless they work third shift like I do. So I would think that, 5, 6 o'clock would be better for a lot of people.
Have you ever held elected office before?
Never held elected office. Like I said, I was appointed to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I was appointed to the Parks and Recreation Committee. And been there for 5, 6 years.
What do you think of the current bid process that the county has? In particular, should there be a more benefit for local compared to out-of-county bidders?
Personally, I think we need to take care of our own. I think that it should be local groups that are bidding on it. Because you pay an outside group, when they get done with the job, they go spend their money somewhere else. You keep it local, it pays off.
What type of local, like a percentage or a dollar amount, or?
I really don't know. I mean, I think that the bidding should be local. I think we should support our builders and plumbers and the whole works in Muskegon County. Because like I said, you give the bid to someone outside of the county. On Friday, they collect their check and they go somewhere else and spend it.
Okay.
In order for government to prosper, you've got to have tax dollars, and if they're spending their money in Muskegon County, that's tax dollars.
The wastewater system has been a topic of conversation lately, but not because of its function out there. There's been talk about shale oil reserves, and they recently had a geologist come to the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners and discuss the concept of fracking. Now, fracking, from the studies that have been done, in some cases it can be done safely, but in the cases that it can't be done safely, there's a high risk of contaminating the water supply. And once water supply is contaminated, it's contaminated forever. Would you allow fracking at the wastewater? Or would that be
It's
something?
awful close to Wolf Lake,
Right.
and Wolf Lake is a big attraction. It's hard to find a parking place to go swimming there. I mean, Sunset Beach is covered with people. The 4th of July, both sides of the roads, there was one lane right down the middle. There was that many people there. And, if there's a chance of messing up Wolf Lake, I don't think I'd be for it. But in the same token, as I was speaking a while ago about communication. The Republican candidate for District 7 has been coming to the meetings, public board meetings out there, has never said a word about this drilling. Our commissioner out there has not showed up and told anybody anything. And right now, the township is in a big uproar about it. They're upset because nobody had told them anything about it. The way they found out, it come out in the Chronicle about an information meeting, and the board went to it. That's the only information they found out about it. And they're pretty upset.
Well, I would think so, because being that it's an Egelston Township, that they should have been informed right from the start of what was being contemplated.
Right from the get-go.
And their input should have been sought on it, because their thoughts and feelings have to be taken into account on that. And by not letting them know about the meeting, other than what they happen to receive by accident in the Chronicle, that doesn't speak too well of communication, does it?
No, it doesn't. And plus, you've got Mosquito Creek, which flows on the north side of the wastewater. And it drains right into the Muskegon River, which drains right into Muskegon Lake, which goes right into Lake Michigan. So, you know, something that would contaminate it is not going to just contaminate Egelston Township. It's
Right.
going to go through the whole county.
Exactly. So this is just another example of the county board's ineptness.
Lack of communication.
What is your opinion on consolidation within the county?
With the way the state has cut tax dollars, a lot of townships are already consolidating. Fire departments, so forth, and got to stay alive.
But is
On
that
some things.
is that consolidating or is that cooperating?
Some of it is consolidating, a lot of it's cooperating, but they're still having to. Egelston shares with Muskegon Charter their administrator, that building administrator. And that they consolidated there, you know, that he works part-time for both. Because nobody can afford a full-time.
I can see that as cooperating because it's consensual on both sides have agreed to it. It was not something mandated down or forced down.
Mandated, I wouldn't be for mandating. That should be individual townships or.
Because the county had tried to mandate that all the inspectors, to consolidate all the inspectors, but that had been stopped. And they're trying to consolidate all the water work and forcing it all into one.
Well, I'm not sure about that because Egelston doesn't have a lot of city water out there. They do need some in some places, but you know, you start saying you've got to have it. People don't like it.
What is your view on the road commission?
Road Commission, I guess, is doing the best they can with what they've got. Tax dollars is cut, you have to cut somewhere. And they're doing the best they can with what they've got.
There's been talk about abolishing the road commission and having the county take it over as one of their functions. Good idea or bad idea?
I would say it's a bad idea. Because the ones that are at the road commission have a knowledge of what to do, how to do it, cheapest way to do it, and so forth. Where county commissioners, they have their hands full with enough stuff.
What do you believe, or do you believe that the size of the government we have now is enough, that we should have more or less?
At times I think it's too much, but at times I think there's not enough. I mean, I haven't been in the circle yet to really know, but to be informative and so forth with the public, it seems like there's not enough to let the people know what's going on and to offer different programs and so forth. It seems like some of the people are stretched real far.
So it sounds like it's a mismanagement issue. The resources might be there, but they're not being used effectively.
It's very possible, very possible. I don't really know the figures, but supposedly there's $7, $8, $9 million set back for the jail. Where did that money come from? The current commissioner said that was at no cost to the taxpayers. Where did it come from? Who donated $7, $8, $9 million to the county? It had to be taken from here and there, and that is services to the public.
That's right.
It had to be taken from somewhere to accumulate that much money. But supposedly they say it wasn't at the cost of the taxpayers. But I'd like to know where it come from then.
Those are all my questions.
Tell us about your philosophy of government. Are you basically government that governs least governs best, or do we get a little bit more broader in scope than that, or what's your philosophy on it?
Democrat people, or Democrat candidates, represent the people. The people want to say, and I think that a county commissioner should do the daily business of the county, but at the same time keep the people informed, find out what their opinions are, and you can go to these township meetings and the rooms are not crowded. I mean, there may be a dozen people here, there may be 50, 60 at another meeting or something like that. But the township officials hear from these people every day. I mean, if not, there's no sense in having a township office and so forth if they don't communicate with the people. But they hear from the people every day, and so therefore the candidates need to go to these meetings, find out what the concerns are and so forth, and address things. Like I said, Egelston didn't know anything about the drilling. I went to Moreland Township last week, Thursday, and a Republican county commissioner come in there. And he said, Egelston's getting a bus route, and you guys are going to have to pay for it. I said, really? When in fact, Ravenna or Matt's put in for a grant, 2-year grant, $6,000. Ravenna was chosen as the recipient of it, and Ravenna got a bus route. which goes down Heights-Ravenna Road. The buses come to Walker and Muskegon Charter. So Egelston asked if they could possibly come out Apple to Wolf Lake Road and then cut over to Heights-Ravenna and then into Ravenna, which would possibly give the people of Egelston a bus stop. And when I told the township what this Republican commissioner said, that they were upset. Moreland was upset. So I have got to make another trip back out to Moreland Township and inform them of facts rather than this commissioner walking in there saying Egelston's got a bus route coming and you're going to have to pay for it.
So in other words, we have more miscommunication.
More miscommunication.
You think a bus route is needed to the eastern portion of the county and as well the northern portion of the county?
That, as I said, it was going to Ravenna. Ravenna is not in my district, so I don't really know what their needs are in Ravenna. Holton, I heard, had put in for a bus route. They have some people that probably need a bus route up there. They had tried, I think they had tried to get one, and it was voted down or whatever.
Sounds like we've got $8 million for a jail. We certainly should have whatever it would take for a bus route.
We should.
Because it sounds to me like it's a question of how do we spend the money that benefits the most people that we can benefit by,
Exactly.
rather than taking the money and just spending it to promote and the bureaucracy and satisfy a few people.
That seems to be the way things are going. That's why I'm running.
Okay, anything else you wish to add at all?
Not really, other than if I'm elected, I'll be out there in the township's forum. I will be at their meetings, inform them, find out their concerns and so forth, carry it back to the county.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hayward. We
Thank you.
appreciate you coming today and spending some time, your time with us.